Trapaholics mixtape. Dang son, why'd you make this?
Sparky too.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. Sonny is here.
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
Oh, that's nice.
I didn't expect that. That was cute.
Donovan is here.
I was like, all right, who's going to go first?
Happy birthday, Sonny's mom.
Yes.
You know I love you.
Mommy.
Wait,
What?
what?
Hold on.
No.
Quickly, let's move to Paul.
Happy birthday, Sonny's mom. I don't know you, but I love your son.
Yes,
Oh,
we all
nice.
love your son here. He's amazing.
Yes.
You've done a great job.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yes. That was good. Thanks, guys.
Guys,
What's
oh
up?
boy.
Oh, yeah.
this week is going to be a kindler, gentler episode with
Probably.
Yeah.
probably,
Maybe.
we're assuming,
Perhaps.
less screaming and stomping around. Like
Unless you
I
like us
don't
screaming.
know.
Guys, look at how cute we are. We're all wearing our shirts
it's
today.
like team night.
This is like,
It's like we're about to go bowling after this.
oh, I can't wait.
We could. If
We
you guys
could,
want to.
yeah.
Oh, you know.
I'm so out of shape now.
Guys,
For bowling.
You look like a bowler to me.
Yeah.
Can't bowl. My cardio is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm in great bowling shape.
I
Sonny
tore my
saw me
AC
the other week. At
Yeah.
bowling.
No,
I was
no,
in great
no.
bowling shape.
This is true. Pictures of Peroni and bowling.
In that order. Guys, we finally got our first episode of Loki.
So sick.
There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
I want to just get your initial reactions. I want to go around the table and get your initial reactions.
Yeah.
And tell me what you think that we could be getting from this season
Oh my
of
gosh.
Loki going forward. You know, that was a lot.
That was a lot to
That
unpack.
was so much
I think it
to
was the longest
digest.
premiere of the first of the three series. I think it was the longest
Yeah, I
premiere
I
episode.
think so, too.
What were your thoughts of the first episode, Paul?
Yay. I really enjoyed it. It was it met my expectations and then maybe exceeded them a little bit between like the banter between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. Not that I didn't expect it to be good, but it was like it was
really
a highlight
good.
of the episode.
Yeah,
the episode was
yeah,
really
for
good.
sure.
It felt like I think I texted you guys right after I watched it. It felt like I was inside of a Jack Kirby comic with like the weird, like wacky kind of
Mm-hmm.
like architecture and stuff within the world. Felt a little bit like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I really love that. And I like the way they illustrated just how weird and different of a place the TVA is. It's not in our universe. It's in this weird pocket dimension that isn't affected by things that most of the other universe is affected by.
And I think we got like a lot of headstrong about that. There was like Infinity Stones not working. Loki's powers don't work. You know, everything was kind of just crazy in this weird pocket dimension. I don't know if it's like the time between time or whatever the case is. But I'm really stoked to figure out more about this.
Same.
Donovan, you saw it 3 times. Like, what stuck out to you?
Man, I don't even know where to begin. I actually took notes as I watched the show, and I usually never do that.
Begin
And,
with the first time you saw it.
the first time I saw it, I thought I was in a different dimension. I was
Right.
like, what is this world that I'm in? This
You
is
were.
this is insane. I couldn't believe it. Like I
Right.
was talking to my wife, and she was like, she was really chill about it, but I was
She's chill.
I was out of my mind. I was out of sight, out of mind, and I loved it so much. To me, this is like 10 out of 10, and I think this was supposed to be the show that Disney Plus was going to have come out first.
This was
correct?
going to be the first
Yeah.
series.
And you can totally see that. Like I still wish they would have kept to that,
Yeah.
but we can we'll get into that.
I know. I thought of like some follow up question to
Yeah,
what you said, but
we're obviously getting that because this is our first reactions. I thought it was I thought it was perfect.
Mm.
It gave us everything that we wanted.
I
It
agree.
gave us a solid like where we're at, what we're doing. Here's the bad guy. Here's
Thank
how
you.
I need your help.
Thank you for saying that.
And I was like, oh great, we have all the exposition explained right out of the gate.
That's
So
pretty
from
true, yeah.
here on out, we are going to get new things that are going to keep us coming every single
aren't-
week, and I'm super excited for it.
No, and I'm so glad you said the thing about the villain because we're not. Is anyone sitting here right now going, I wonder who the villain is. I wonder
No.
who this is. We know that it's Loki. We don't know the exact parameters, and we're interested. The difference between this series and the other ones, we're interested to learn more about a character,
Yeah.
not learn who a character is.
Yeah.
And I think that is infinitely
point.
better. And I think that's what the other shows were hurting a little bit. Like after the episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's literally called the Power Broker. And I think I said it on the show, they ask who the Power Broker is
Right.
1,500 times in that episode.
Right.
We're not even given a definitive
Yeah, we're
as to who
not
that
even
is
sure.
at the end of the show. It's like,
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah.
But now we know in this one who it is. Obviously, Kang has been cast. We know he'll probably be in it at some point, but we know
That'd be nice.
who our main villain is, who we're after, why. It gave a perfect reason as to why Owen Wilson, Mobius, pulled Loki aside and said, I need him to help. It's like, why is he the one that needs help? Because it's another version of him.
Right.
That's all I need to hear. I don't need to know
Right.
why else he's been pulled out and needs.
and we're getting this. Well, it seems like we're getting like a set number of variants. Maybe they think that there's going to be like 5 variants. We see that
Mm.
there's this. There's a in the credits. And when I watched the second time, the post credits, or the end credit scene. There is it looks like a training manual, and it shows like one guy, and then it shows 5 split off underneath like branches of the other
Variants.
person. So there's
Variant.
variant versions. Like we know that
Hmm.
this version of Loki that we have in the series is not the original Loki.
No, he's not. He's not
the
Loki Prime.
He's the 2012 New York City
Yeah.
Loki that just happened to come upon the Tesseract and then is, taken into custody and is much more closer to his villain self
Oh, absolutely.
than he is to his redeeming
Yeah.
self
Yes.
in
There's a-
later films.
There's a bee in his bonnet in this one for sure, and you can tell that
Absolutely.
there's tension there.
There's still an
See,
edge to him.
There's still the edge to him, but I like you guys were talking about. We get a lot in this first episode, and he got humbled really quick when he took the time to go back and watch the rest of the film of himself.
Yep.
And see that his god persona, the leader, the one that's just gets crushed. He was like, I think I'm not that important. The universe is a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yep.
Asking about his like the guy who doesn't have his ticket. And
Yes.
he's like talking back, and then he starts scrambling for his ticket.
Yeah,
you don't think you'd see Loki doing something
No,
like that.
no, he
Like,
was afraid.
Yeah,
You know
he
what?
was.
Yeah, you know what one of my favorite parts of the episode was when the guys like step through the scanner and Loki's like, "What?" He's like, "Make sure you're not a robot." And he's like, "What happens if I am a robot?"
Right.
And he's like, "You'll be eviscerated from the inside out." And Loki's like, "Make sure you're not a robot." Am I?
Oh my gosh, is there an echo in here?
He's like,
That was another timeline.
oh my gosh,
There's a time variant.
am I a robot? He's
Yeah,
like, "What?"
and he like slowly walks through it.
and it beeps, and he's like,
Yeah,
It's to give nods to like Ultron and Vision
well,
and all
what
that
I
kind of
also
stuff.
think that's a nod to is the life model decoys in the comics.
Yep.
And the Doombots, a lot of times, Doombots and the life model decoys don't actually know that they're not actually Doctor Doom or not actually the real
Mhm.
person.
Right.
Sometimes with scrolls too, like a scroll impersonates somebody for so long that they won't know that they're not actually them.
did you guys see the scroll
Yeah.
in the show? Yeah, okay,
In
cool.
the tracksuit.
Did you see Peggy Carter?
Yeah,
That is
No!
interesting.
What?
I did
yes.
not
What?
see that.
Yes.
I've watched the show 3 times. Peggy Carter, where's she at?
There's
I was wrong. There will be yelling.
Yep.
If I'm on the show, there's going to be yelling.
100%. I was going to say the same thing. No, so there's some speculation going on that there might have been, when he was in the waiting room, a variant possible that it might have been a version of Peggy Carter. Maybe there's speculation that they couldn't get the Cap that went back because he's Captain America, so they got Peggy, the one that was not messing up, but they created a whole different timeline when Cap goes back and starts that relationship. So, of course, the TVA isn't going to be able to get Captain America. He's Captain America. So they pull Peggy. So what if Peggy was in the TVA? You know.
So with regards to the timeline,
Oh
how
my
do you
gosh.
think that do you think they addressed this pretty well, as far as, saying that the endgame timeline with the Avengers, they screwed things up, and she said no,
that was supposed to happen.
that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did what they're supposed
Yeah,
to
they
do.
did what they were supposed to do.
I have a theory in regards to that. I think by the end of this, we're going to find out that the Timekeepers are a fallacy of some kind, and they have a different agenda,
Oh, for
and
sure.
they're trying to make sure things happen the way that they're okay with, not the right way, but the way that they're okay with.
Mhm.
And we're going to find out that the Timekeepers aren't the, not that they've been painted as like some superheroes, but they're kind of been painted as good guys so far. And someone pointed out that one of them looks a lot like Jonathan Majors,
Mhm.
who is Kang the Conqueror.
The one that the judge is like kind of sitting in front of, the one behind her.
Yeah, there's a theory that they're husband and wife.
Yeah, they're romantically involved. I don't know if at this point in the show or later or in the past. Who knows how the time works in there.
Yeah, we don't know, because there's a clock with the guy who's in the room at first when he's having him sign
Right.
Mhm.
everything he says.
Miss Minutes.
And then down in the corner, there's a cat. Then he has a picture of the cat on the coffee mug
Mhm.
that he's drinking out of. But and the clock behind him has several sets of hands.
Mm-hmm.
So time, just like Mobius said, time moves a little.
Time works different down here,
It works
man.
different down here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And
I like their, like, speaking about just time working different, the weapons, like what are they called? The time
twister.
Time twisters.
Yeah.
Loki thinking he's like big boss gets slapped and is getting hit in it was like 1/6 of speed or
But he
whatever.
was still
Oh,
feeling
that
the
was
But he's
pain
so
and
still feeling
everything.
every single
Yeah.
pain.
Dude.
And even the reset, like the time reset stuff, I really like all of these like gadgets and tools.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that Loki was like, I thought magic didn't work here and cars are flying and all this kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see what
This
technology.
isn't magic.
Yeah, like what kind of technology is this place using?
I'm curious to figure out where, are the people who are in the TVA, were they created by the Timekeepers? Because, what's his name? Casey, the guy at the front
Front
desk.
desk.
He's like,
Been a desk man my
he's
whole
like,
life.
what's a fish?
Yes,
And
yeah.
he's like, how do you
Miss-
not know what a fish is? And he's like, well, I've been behind this desk my whole life. He's like, that's kind of the point. Like, this is what I was made to do.
Right.
It makes sense. Like, he was never a kid. He never grew up. He was
Just
made
made
as
for
that
that.
man.
Yeah, so
To be behind
they
the
do
desk.
explain that in the show when Miss Minutes is talking. She's talking about all the scenario, or like everything that's happening. She goes, the Timekeepers wanted to make sure that time stayed the same, so he created all of these workers to make sure that time stayed the way it's supposed to stay.
right.
So yes, that essentially yes, like he is like a creation, and that's his sole purpose.
That guy's at the
I love
desk, and the Tesseract is like they're watching the Tesseract, which we later find out to just kind of be like another paperweight.
Right.
But he has a Tesseract, and Loki's telling him, "Be careful with that." And he
Sounds stupid.
And he says, "It sounds stupid."
Yeah.
it's just an afterthought. It was like, "Oh, we got lots of those, like a junk drawer."
Yeah.
You like pull it out,
And
just
you know
like,
the first stone that he pulls out is the time stone to
Mhm.
look at. I like that was a little nod
Yeah.
that they're messing with, the time stuff and everything. I'm sure he tried to use that as like, well, hold on, if any stone will work, this will be the one.
Right.
And none of them work.
Yeah,
Well-
I just thought it was so cool. All of it was so amazing. I avoided anything on YouTube to watch, like the breakdowns of anything, till after we did the show today, because I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that I came in this with like a fresh thing and we could talk about this. And I thought there were some really key things. One of the things that I really loved about this show was how Loki, we first see Loki outside of Avengers Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
and he's opening up just like in Iron Man, when Iron Man first gets
Yeah.
his suit and he's in
Yeah.
the desert, they did the
Mhm.
reverse of it. So
Mhm.
his head's right justified, as
Yep.
where Tony's was left justified.
Hmm.
So I thought that was really interesting. It was like almost representing like this is the beginning of Loki's new arc. Like what we saw before in our timeline was his cave moments, was him and his cave moments. Now he's stepping out
That's
to be
interesting.
his true destiny and what he's supposed to be, because this show is riddled with talks about destiny and choice and
sure.
what you're meant to be and what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we're now saying, like, what is Loki supposed to be? And
Yeah.
how is this show going to end? Is it going to end with him going back to his original timeline and then just fulfilling out the rest of his life the way he's supposed
That's
to?
what I
Well, and
think.
doesn't he say at one point, "I can't go
I
back"?
can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean he died in his own
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah, so I thought it was really good, but the thing that I was like, I really geeked out over was when Owen Wilson said his name. I went, oh my gosh. The reason I did that was because the name of the strip that Tony figures out in Endgame is called the Mobius strip,
Mm.
that he figures out time travel. And I thought, oh my gosh.
they know what they're doing.
Doctor Strange said there's 14 million outcomes that come out of this, and there's only one way to get out of this, and it was the Mobius strip.
It was the way that they designed the strip inverted into a Mobius strip
So-
or whatever. Yeah.
It makes me wonder two things. One, Agent Mobius was the one who was like, hey, I figured out a way to make sure that the timeline stays the same so that nothing gets changed, and it's this. We have to give this to the Avengers or show them somehow
he
this is
helped
what
Tony
it is.
Mhm.
figure it out. He
Yeah, maybe.
made it possible.
But in a way that's not like so obvious, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like in their own special way. Or two, he's one of the 3-time
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of the time-
I didn't even think about that.
timekeepers.
He could
He
be.
could be one of the timekeepers.
And even the way he was like talking to the girl, he's like, I like this. I like the way, you're talking like this is a great perspective. Like maybe I'm not usually used to this. I'm usually used to it being the other way around. So
I did not even think
so
about that.
that's what I
awesome.
was thinking. I was like, maybe he's one of the 3 time
Timekeepers.
guys, the timekeepers.
Yep.
So that to me was like the biggest thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope that everyone else is catching this because this is incredible. Like
Didn't even notice.
We-
Or-
that was you.
yeah.
Oh,
Straight over my head.
shucks.
Good
I mean,
job.
there's just
no, that's good.
there's
man.
just so many
That's
things,
really
and
good.
then the oh man, the production design for this show was unbelievable.
Mhm.
Like really, like it reminded me a lot of like Fallout in a way, like the old computers and like the
Mm,
green,
I see
the
that.
like post-apocalyptic looking 60s esque.
Yeah.
But what I loved about the production design for this was just like, no, like this is this is the real reality right here, and we're so advanced in technology we didn't have to use but we're actually like having to work to make sure that time
Goes correctly.
goes
Yeah.
correctly, because today in our age, if we wanted something to work really well, we stick it in a program or software, we had an algorithm go, and we just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
We let it bake and we let it do its thing. We don't even touch it. Like
Right.
that's how things work nowadays when we render something. But in the time variance, they're actually working, really, really working to make sure that time stays in the correct timeline that it's
Right.
supposed to. And
That's true.
I really appreciated that about the show. I mean, I've got so many notes, and I'm sure you've got a
Well,
number of things you want to ask us.
One
for this.
thing I was going to mention is that the fact that Tony Stark does mention that in Endgame about the Mobius strip,
hmm
and then as it's almost like we're seeing Tony Stark on screen for like the last time, he's mentioning to these guys, you start to mess with time and it messes back with you.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
It's like how
How did you know
prophetic
that?
that you're
Yeah.
the one to tell us that we're going to lose you, and you're the one sending that message almost as if to kind of you're predicting the future, what's going to happen for the rest of these people.
See, because now you're really starting to like get to a point here. He made that video for everybody beforehand, just in case if things go bad. I love you 3000.
Yeah.
I think this might have I think maybe Mobius spoke to Tony beforehand or contacted Tony or in some way helped Tony because like they said, Avengers were supposed to do this. They were supposed to go back in time for things to happen, right?
Yeah. I think we're gonna
Interesting.
very interesting. I think we're gonna find out that the timekeepers, the 3 of them, aren't necessarily all on the same page. I think that would go in with your theory that Owen Wilson is one of them, Mobius is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the other ones is Kang and maybe his
Mhm.
wife, and those 2 were against Mobius, and they somehow gained control from Mobius, and now there's only 2 of them, and they put Owen to be like a worker in the TVA, or Mobius, sorry, and I think like the way they're like pushing like this is the correct timeline, this is the correct. We're gonna
Mhm.
find out that there is no correct timeline. This is just what the Timekeepers want, and they have something to gain
Right.
from it.
Right. They're controlling it.
There was one thing that the girl said, the judge, he says, this is my story. I control my story. And she went, this isn't your story. And I was like, whose story is it?
Mhm.
Is it our story?
Yeah,
and
is it
are
the viewers?
is that their way of breaking the fourth wall and
Right.
saying like, no, this is their story. So we want to make sure that their story is intact. Or
Yeah.
is this like someone else's? Is this like a huge celestial story that he wants to make sure is told? Like, there's just so many different, like, it's really a head trip. There's so many different head trips in here. There was one, sorry. I love how they explain the Nexus event, the
That's
multiverse
what
of
was
madness.
next on mine.
Yep.
I thought that was like really good.
Because I think if they would have said all of this Nexus stuff like they were talking in this show, and then we saw,
And that, yeah,
that commercial
that's-
would have led
we would have been like,
credence to it.
oh,
Totally.
okay, this makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
Mhm. Exactly.
I never realized that it was Loki's fault that his mom died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said
Mhm.
go up the stairs
Yeah.
to the
Up to the
right.
stairs to the right.
You might want to
left.
try the left instead. I never realized that he thought Thor was over there. Well, I knew that he was trying to get him to Thor, but I never realized that he made the mistake of sending him to
Inadvertently
the
sent- yep.
mom.
Yeah, left and to
So
the
when
right.
was that
That's
in
terrible.
Dark World or no? Was that really
Probably.
explained in Dark World or not?
That's not one of the ones I've
It's
watched
not-
more
it's
than
not,
once. So,
I think
It's
that
I've
was
seen
in.
it. It's not like what's the word? They don't hang a light on it. Like
Right.
they don't say, "Hey, this was Loki," but it's kind of like one of those things that people go, "Oh my gosh, Loki did this!" Like,
Yeah.
and but this is the first time they've really like hung a lantern on it and been like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Loki is the reason his mom is dead."
Yeah, if they do allude to it in the Dark World, like, okay, yeah, cool, like then it's there. But if they didn't allude to it in the Dark World, then well freaking done, Marvel, for doing this, because this only lends more
oh yeah,
to Loki's character. Like, oh my gosh,
Well-
it's my fault that my mother is dead. The one who showed me the most compassion.
Loki definitely didn't know that at the end of the Dark World. Up
Oh, yeah,
until
he
just
wasn't-
now,
he wasn't- yeah, he
never was
didn't know
privy
that.
to it.
Yeah,
The
okay.
audience was, but he was never privy to it. No, not
But
until
still,
now.
like him seeing that, and then like Tom Hiddleston is such an amazing actor. I was talking to my friend Doug. Shout out to Doug.
Shout out
Before
Doug.
the show,
Hey,
and
Doug.
he was like, "What a great like to have a trained actor, to have a trained Shakespearean, really great actor doing this." Like the part where he sees his mom die, and they cut to him, and he's got the tears one up in his
Mhm.
eyes. I was like,
when he gets
"Oh
his
my
neck
gosh."
snapped and he like takes that breath, like he was
Yeah.
so like,
Like that's
taken
my
aback.
destiny, and that's the thing that really like caught my attention was like, imagine if we got to see what our destinies were before us.
oh
Like
yeah,
right.
played out in front of us. Like that's a real head trip to like watch your life play out before you, and then like at the end it says end of file. Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, in this realm, in this place, I'm just a file.
just a file.
Yep.
I'm just a file like everybody, like anything. Like I just thought it was so brilliantly done, and now Loki's aware, and I loved how the Mephisto is
The glass stain.
definitely been put to bed.
I don't know. I saw the glass
Yeah,
stain.
I
The
think
glass
it's-
stain.
I think it's over.
No, for sure it's done.
100%, because
But-
that glass stain resembled more Loki than it did Mephisto, because of the
Mobius.
horns. And yeah, I'm not
Here we-
convinced that
Here, convince us that it is Sonny.
No, I'm
please.
not gonna. No. Now I'm on another train
The
now.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare
thing. I knew you
train,
were gonna say
because
that, yeah.
he mentions this is a
The
nightmare.
nightmare,
He's like, oh,
uh,
that's a whole nother department.
oh yeah, he's like, I'd love if you burn that
Yeah.
place down. I thought that was really cute.
I
So
think
we'll
they did
see.
a lot of that, dropping little hints at stuff. We'll go back to this series and go,
Yeah.
because Nightmare is obviously Nightmare, and then we have Loki. I don't know much about the character. I saw a tweet about it that he calls himself the God King, or that he wanted to be a God King, and there is a character in the Marvel Pantheon or whatever called the God King who does some. He has to do with like Ragnarok, one of the Ragnarok stories or something or other.
Interesting.
I don't know much about him, but I know that he is a character that they were alluding to or giving you a hey, if you know this
Cool.
Were any of
kind
you
of thing.
Were any of you guys curious on the Goldman Sachs kid that also came into the time variant with him? Like what?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What could he have done to be
And-
brought there? Because
In
he
this-
talks about him being a hedge fund kid. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a dig at
Well-
Martin Shkreli, that guy who took the Wu. Have you heard this kid? He's a hedge fund kid. He took like Wu Tang's album.
the $1 million album thing.
and
yeah.
like totally kept it for himself
Yeah.
and won't release it. And then he up the prices on medication for AIDS and
Yeah, yeah,
pharmacies and stuff like that. This kid is a slime ball,
Yeah.
and he was a hedge fund kid
Yeah.
in real life. But I was thinking, are they alluding to that?
It could
Probably.
be.
Or are they? Is this kid what could this
So-
kid have done for the time variance to
That's
bring him there?
one of the reasons, like, I kind of feeding into, at least for me, my theory that the timekeepers are not the all good, keep the time float.
No, man, they're
To what we
evil
need.
lizard people.
Exactly. And like, if you notice, all the people who are in the TVA that are the variants that they're after, they like got there by happenstance. They weren't the people that made the change that made it happen. If you think
Right.
about it, the people like the Avengers, they should be the time criminals. Or whoever who's made a time machine, they should be the time criminal, because they make mention of that. Like, some weirdos made a time machine, we got to go get them.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
love
but
that.
if you look at all the people who they are after, they're people who, like, Loki didn't know he was breaking the time stream when he did that.
Right.
I'm sure that Goldman Sachs kid didn't know that he was breaking the time stream when he did that. And it seems like when somebody breaks the timeline in a way that works for Kang,
Right.
he lets it stay, because he
Right.
needed the Avengers to beat Thanos for him to get what he needed.
Right.
So that's why he let that happen.
Right.
But he he can't, for whatever reason, this guy Goldman Sachs dude going back in time, that affects the butterfly effect or whatever. I think the time stream in a
The
way,
sacred timeline.
in a negative way, for him getting to his end game. So he had to stop that. Like,
Endgame.
maybe that Goldman Sachs dude interferes with, like, Tony Stark's company, and somewhere down the line
Maybe.
that messes Kang's plan up. So that's why he had to get that Goldman Sachs kid out of there.
The quote that Miss Minutes has is "Behave or don't get your clock cleaned."
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest thing.
Miss Minutes, by the way, the voice is Tara Strong, the voice of Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Yes,
Same voice. Yeah.
yes, it is. If it sound familiar,
She was really good, and I liked that sort of animated summary. We got like different types of animation, like a
Mhm.
summary, kind of like they're walking you through like Jurassic Park.
Yes.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
exposition helps so much, though.
So I think Jonas in the comments, like, he just hit something that we haven't really touched on. Kang needed Tony to figure the time travel stuff out for his whatever plan he may have to come to fruition later on, and that's why he needed the Avengers to beat Thanos, because he needed Tony to figure the time travel thing out.
That's interesting. Yeah,
think that's a good call.
very possible.
That's
Point.
very possible.
shout out Jonas.
Literally anything is possible at this point.
Anything
Like,
is possible.
And in a
thanks, Kevin.
No, I just think seriously though, because
KG baby.
like we were talking about before the show, I think the Infinity Stones being paperweights in this was just kind of like not a joke, but a nudge that, like, these stones that were all powerful for 10 years through all these films have left their paperweights. They're not anything serious.
Well, they're showing you they're moving. They're making it symbolic. That they're moving
Yeah,
past.
moving
that was
forward.
probably one of the most important scenes of the entire show.
And the first stone he
going
picks
into the
up
next
is
phase.
the time stone. It's the green one. I think that was the coolest little nod ever.
Yes, sir.
There were other things in that drawer too. I couldn't quite make it out because it was really, really dark. And of course, I'll have to go see you guys on New Rockstar and all those guys who break it down.
Heavy
and everything.
spoilers.
But I didn't see, like, I couldn't see, like, one looked like the Medal of Honor or some sort of like medal or something. I don't know, but there were like
There was a couple
all
different
these
weird
little
things in there.
it looked like little Easter eggs inside the evidence desk that I was curious on, like, what's in here? What is?
It's gonna
what
get
are
broken down.
these
Someone's
things?
gonna break all that down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, this. Oh, this show is so good.
Well,
It's
that-
so nice.
And
Go ahead.
oh no, you go ahead, Frank.
No, I was just going to say that I wanted to mention that in each of these series now, we have seen a cameo / appearance of a scroll. They're just trying to leave us little breadcrumbs to
Yep.
the inevitable secret invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, like you're saying, anything's possible. We don't know who's a scroll and who isn't
No.
Mhm.
going forward.
No.
When we start to see these other characters, not maybe so much with the Loki series, but with every series that we're going to get another Plus series before the end of the year. That's a live action series. I mean, I think Hawkeye.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be getting Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to
I
get
do
Hawkeye
believe
before the end
so.
of the series, before the end of the year. We're supposed to get Ms. Marvel at the end of or the beginning of next year.
Okay.
That's going to have a lot of scroll.
That's gonna be
Stuff.
like the scrolliest scroll show you.
It's going to be the
It's
scroll-
going to be the scrolliest scroll.
It might
show
be the
ever.
scrolliest.
I think it's going to be
scrolliest of
super
scrolls.
scrolly.
Wait, not Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Invasion, yeah.
Sorry.
Secret Wars will happen down the line, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Um.
Got to get some more scrolly scrolls.
So
first.
you know what we haven't talked about at all?
The
because this,
scrolliest.
the scrolly
the
polioli.
scrolly polioli. Write that down.
Jot that down.
Get that.
Clip that.
So we haven't even talked about what we think the other version of Loki is up to. What is that Loki trying to expose the Timekeepers for the frauds that they are?
Yeah, because they're I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the Lady Loki. So I'm gonna say
That's
he
why
or
they're
she.
hiding the face.
Who knows? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's the Lady Loki.
I'm right there with you.
She is like baiting all of these Minutemen and taking their reset devices before they're able to use those.
Yeah.
So whenever something happens in the timelines, they use that reset thing. It resets whatever in the area that was supposed to happen. They weren't able to let off that last bomb. She's trying to take all of them. So what is she going to use all these reset devices for? You know?
Yeah, I think that we're gonna get an interaction. Obviously, an interaction between the two Lokis,
Well, I
Lady
think,
Loki and
I think
and
we're gonna
our
get
Loki.
a team up.
I don't know. I think
It
we're
could
going.
be.
I think we're going to see, like, in my universe. Yes, there's several different universes that exist.
Mhm.
In my universe,
You're the center of it.
yeah, you're my boo. She says that she's been trying to battle the time variance for a really long time, and you have to do this for your universe as well. But I think Loki will have a change of heart, because I think when he was watching his life play out before him, he realized that, yeah, he says, yeah, I'm the villain, but like he ends up not being the villain.
And
Yeah, no.
that's why I think this Lady Loki won't end up being the villain either, because she's
still
still
Loki.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get a Loki, female Loki, and Mobius team up. And the reason Mobius
going
is
against Kang?
I'm going like crazy.
Yeah,
with
you're
the
going
theories
out
right
there.
now. So
Foil hat
and,
time.
they're gonna meet up, and then Loki's gonna think he's sneaking around with the other version of himself and doing stuff, and he's gonna run into Mobius, and he's gonna be like, and Mobius is like, no, this is what I wanted to happen. Now we can try, because maybe the female Loki's working for Mobius, and he's the one that's helping her evade stuff, and they end up working together to break through whatever barrier they need to break through to get to Kang or whoever the other Timekeepers are on the Timekeepers.
If it's ultimately Kang who's going to be revealed.
Exactly.
To be
We
this,
keep saying Kang. We're not sure, but
We
he
don't
is
know.
confirmed.
I
Not
think
necessarily in the show, but he is cast.
In the yes,
Yeah.
I think he's definitely involved. Do I think he's gonna show up? Maybe not. I think we might get a mention of Kang.
Right.
I think if they drop him in this series, it might be like too small of a reveal rather than
Mhm.
dropping him, at least his costume and his face. I mean, unless you do like the Thanos thing and just kind of like the after credit, give him a couple seconds, you know? I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to release him in this series.
I think this is the first time a show is like got out of the Marvel shows, the three that we have. Like, this is the one that's made me go, I can't wait for next week.
Mhm.
Falcon and Winter Soldier
By
kind of
the
did,
end, I was like that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
kind of did
towards-
that for me.
yeah.
Like, I kind of was like, okay, yeah, like I get what's happening here. I can. The writing was totally on the wall with Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision, I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now.
Well, and I
Same.
think that's a good point,
I
because
still don't.
I
with
still don't. dude.
WandaVision, you left each week going,
What?
huh?
Even
With
in the
this,
finale.
you're leaving going, like, it's like hard to articulate, but it's like I am confused. Like, I don't know what's going on, but in a good way. It's like the movie Inception. Like, you watch it and it's a mystery and you're not sure exactly.
Not like Tenet, but
And no,
Inception.
that's I like Tenet, but no, that's a good point. Tenet's a little harder to
It's-
follow, and you leave it
yeah.
kind of going,
What?
what? But Inception, you leave going, what? Like that. That's it. WandaVision was a what, and this has been a what?
Oh, I can't wait to clip that later.
Wow.
This is a really, really good show.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
the cinematography is the best it's been to me in any sort of Marvel property. The camera work and the lighting in this is the best I've ever seen it. I'm
Hot
like,
Bod
this
Loki,
looks
Tom Hiddleston.
so good.
You like those like 70s callbacks? I see like a lot of the scenery
Yeah.
they light on sets.
Mhm.
They're like
Yeah.
that orange tacky kitchens that you know.
Yeah,
you went
like
to,
that
or-
weird pastel-y kind of
Oh, my
color everywhere.
goodness.
Yeah.
Just
Just
Makes
and the
gives
lighting,
you a
the
headache.
lighting is really good. Like, you see when Loki's walking into the, like, I guess the interrogation room. There's like there's like patterns of light that are in the ground, and he, was a great actor and hits his mark, and he's right under that light, and it's super
Mhm.
dramatic, and it was just so good. It was like candy in
So-
the eyes.
The set that was the TVA, it kind of looked like, it reminded me of Star Wars in two ways. It kind of looked like the Senate planet, whatever it's called,
Mhm.
in like design, but it looked like old Star Wars movies, and I think that was miniatures. I think that was miniatures with real lighting on them in a real area, really filmed, and then superimposed in the background in some way, shape, or form. Because that didn't look like CGI. That looked like miniatures flying around and having been. And I'm sure there is some like the moving parts, but I'd be willing to bet almost anything Not true, but that those
Ooh.
are miniatures.
So is this supposed to be the
Let's go.
inside of like a clock or something? Is that where they're supposed to be in?
That's interesting.
Or is
They
it
did
like
get inside
some-
a clock vibe.
Or are they in the whatever world that Kang was from? That maybe they inhabited it, or it's a version of
Interesting.
his world?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they're saying that they're going to explore that whole thing in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Then we get to that
We're gonna
they're-
get some explanation.
yeah, I mean they got a lot of explaining to do.
A lot of explaining to do.
When is and Ant-Man's coming out
Not until-
Christmas or next
Ooh,
year?
I don't even know.
2022, I think, towards the
Oh,
end of
oh, it's
2022.
Spider-Man that comes out Christmas.
Spider-Man comes out at Christmas.
We were hoping to get a trailer to watch.
Wah.
We didn't get one of those.
They've been, yeah.
In the interrogation room, rather, a courtroom, there is there's painting of different Minutemen and Timekeepers on the wall, and there's a real Stan Lee.
Oh yeah, you could see the
Stan Lee
guy
looking
Nice.
in
dude.
the
I
mural.
didn't
Yeah, I
notice
saw
that.
that too.
That was really cool. I
So,
like that. They
what-
continue to do that.
other versions of characters do you guys think we're gonna get, or hope we get, or like, give me like a super random one that you just want to see?
Hail Hydra version of Steve Rogers.
I think that's coming.
That's coming at some point.
We
for
might have
sure.
already seen him too,
Ooh, interesting.
John Walker.
Hmm.
I don't know. I really don't know. This is the first time in the show where in a show or Marvel property that I've not been able to go. Yeah, I can kind of see where they're going here and see this one really is like.
I'm not gonna drink the Kool-Aid
Nope.
and go
Nope.
too
No,
overboard.
I'm not
on
even
this.
saying that. Just like even if you see him in passing, or even like the Peggy Carter thing,
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, that might be a
It
different
could
version
be.
of Peggy Carter.
But this is how far they've gone with the speculation: is that we have one episode, and they've connected or referenced so many different things.
Yeah.
Over the past 10 years.
Yeah. That's why
that
this
you're like,
episode,
is this what's happening? What are
this
they doing?
season
How
should
are
have
they-
been first.
and it
I
should
agree.
have.
Now the more
it
we're
should
talking
have.
about it, I'm like, everything's paying off. If this was the first Disney Plus series we got, and we saw some Infinity Stones right after everything, and we saw this next stuff getting explained.
Yeah. And I think we kind of talked about that around WandaVision, is that I think a lot like Age of Ultron and even Dark World now, those movies have kind of retroactively become better with the stuff that has come out since.
Mhm.
And I think the same thing's going to happen with those shows. Like, I think a year from now, after we see all these new movies, we're going to look back at WandaVision and go, oh, see, I'm not as upset about that because it's answered. It wasn't answered then, but it's now, and I can watch it, and it can be a good companion piece to the other stuff.
But there's
Agreed.
all kinds of moments in these series that have like they give you those chills type of moments that make you like, whoa, like that was like
That was
we
really
had
cool.
never seen anyone rematerialize. We see Monica Rambeau rematerialize in front of us in WandaVision,
Epic.
Right.
and then that is like one of the most chilling
Oh, yeah.
goosebump
Easy. Goosebump-y.
lead in to the opening of any episode of a Marvel series.
Easy.
It's like
Easy.
oh my gosh, I have the chills.
No,
You know,
seriously.
whatever. When
So
you're
good.
watching that, it was so good. And I think just the way that
Ooh, superior.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier hit you like an action movie.
Yeah.
That first episode it
It's
felt
over the
like
top. It was
you're-
crazy.
You're just watching something like it's
It's like Mission Impossible or something. It was
like
crazy.
just like an amped up version. I would say amped up version of what Captain America was turning into as
Yeah.
the movies were going along.
Yeah.
It was great.
it was cool.
It was so good.
and all of them
and
have a different vibe, you know.
They do.
So it's really cool to see how this is going to play out. you
And
know?
this is about the one guy.
Yeah.
Wanda and Vision play off each other.
Right.
Falcon and
Winter
Bucky
Soldier.
play off each other. Loki is like he's on stage,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's
How great-
fitting for him to be like that.
For
Like,
sure.
I have two questions for you. The first one is like, how great was it that the DB Cooper thing
Oh,
was
that's so good.
was
so
a
cool.
bet.
It was a bet
Yeah.
that he
that
lost.
Thor that he lost with Thor.
And
I was like,
I love
oh,
that-
Thank God.
I love that Loki is still trying to like make excuses for himself. He's like,
Yeah.
I was young. It's the 60s. You were not young in the 1960s. Loki. You're thousands of years
you're
old.
a full-
Thousands,
yeah,
yeah.
so you're
But maybe-
hundreds of years old.
But maybe 300. Maybe he was 300 years old, and to him that was young.
No, they're all thousands of years old, right?
But that's what I'm saying. But like to him, he,
well, you're in
he
your
was a young
300s. You didn't know any better.
right.
Oh.
But to him, that's young. Like if you're thousands of years old and you're saying I'm 200, to them it would be young.
Yeah, because he doesn't start to get.
I know that it doesn't make sense in ours because the average human life is 100 or
well,
like,
I'm just saying, like,
or
how did he
it's
get
70 and
from
80
200?
for
I'm
male
like,
and female?
How did he get
What?
to
Somebody
200?
said what?
How did he get from 200 to thousands of years in 60 years?
Huh?
That's why I'm confused.
What are you talking about?
Because you're saying he was 300 years old when the DB Cooper thing happened.
No, that's not
No,
what I'm saying.
now you're going too hard into
No,
it.
I
now.
misunderstood. I
You're
misunderstood.
taking
No, I
number
misunderstood what you were
notes.
saying.
I'm saying like he could have been 300 years old during the DB Cooper hit thing, but to
Okay.
him that was a younger version of him because later, like, or I don't know, like he could be like time could move very different in Asgard. Like he could be thousands of years old in Asgard than he could in like the universe in our world because it's
so like time relative. Okay.
Yeah, so
Like
I
an
see where
interstellar,
you're going now.
like
there's
an
a-
interstellar, the
Yeah.
planet, you know.
I didn't realize
Uh-oh.
that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing. And then secondly, my second question is a betting question.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm
I like
setting
these.
I'm setting the line
Plus
at,
5.
at this.
Oh.
The finale for Falcon and Winter Soldier had 9.9 million viewers according to the Nielsen rating. Do we think that the finale of this show is going to be over or under that? I'm setting the line at 9 point. I'm going to set the line at 10 million. 10 million people will watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, we'll start with you.
I have a theory as to why it will be under.
Ooh.
Okay.
Kind of.
Because there's going to be more things for us to be watching and more people will be doing stuff.
Okay.
There's more people, more eyes on TVs and Plus when WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier is going on.
True.
We're right in the middle of the summer.
Okay.
People are going to take advantage of going out this year because they've been stuck in their houses for
True.
a year.
True.
I think it will be under.
Even on a Wednesday
10.
night.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So Paul, over under.
I think under because Captain America and the Winter Soldier, you like that?
Yeah,
is
I
it was much more topical than this is, and it like kind of strikes the nerve of like the culture and what's going on right now in America and stuff. And I think that brings in more eyes, a bunch more eyes. No, I think it'll still be like massive, but I don't think it'll be a black guy as Captain America. That brought a lot of eyes in, and it did, and that happening and seeing
It's
that
true.
happen. So I think that is why that was so big, because it was fantastic. It did something that most things don't, and I don't think this will have the same cultural impact, and that's
It
why.
might not.
Okay.
Sonny?
So I'm going with the over just because of the momentum that Disney Plus is putting
That's
in.
fair.
More people watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier than WandaVision. I'm sure it's going to do the same thing again.
Yep.
I almost did this again. I think with the fact that, like you were talking about, everything with going on in the world, and even what Frank was talking about, there's more eyes on different things. People are really excited, I think, for Loki as a character more than Falcon, more than the Winter
that's fair.
Soldier,
Yeah.
more than Wanda and Vision. You know what I mean? Personally, I think I was more stoked for this than those three.
I think-
or those two.
I think you and I were in agreement that this was the one we were looking forward to
Right.
the most. Yeah.
Right. So I think personally, yeah, I think we're gonna go over. We'll hit that 10 million mark.
The timing
I think
to
that's
it is
fair.
going to be really interesting too, because right before it ends is when Black Widows hits the theater. So there could be some momentum in there saying like, oh yeah, I got to watch Loki. I get caught up on
Yeah.
Loki.
I'm going over on this
before-
one.
It goes right. I think it ends right after Black Widow comes out.
Yeah.
I think it's the following week
Yep.
is when it ends. So
I'm going over, and I'm going to say it's going to be 12 million people are going
You
to
know
watch
what? I
this show.
didn't even, you know what I didn't even
I
think
know we're
about.
putting
So
numbers
you're
on.
saying that the last episode of Loki is the week after.
I think it's the Tuesday or Wednesday night.
So that
after
probably
Black Widow.
explains why. I mean, why they moved Loki to Wednesday nights, because they don't want the premiere at midnight on
Yeah.
Thursday when Black Widow is premiering
I heard
at
it was.
midnight.
I heard it was
on
a couple
Thursday.
reasons, but yeah.
They want people to go to see both, not have to choose one.
Yeah, and
I-
they have people already plugged. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
What's
They,
okay? No,
they
no,
already
no.
have people bought in to what's going on Fridays, and Disney wanted to use that night as like event type viewing
Yeah.
for their other projects.
Yeah.
Because they
Okay.
know that a lot of people aren't interested in watching things unless it's Mandalorian or Marvel.
Right.
Right.
People aren't tuning in to watch Mighty Ducks Game Changers every week, except for Quan. But everybody else, nobody really, is really that locked in as far as that goes. Because I think there's going to be some other animated series that's tied to like Monsters Inc. or something like that. And I think that's going to be on Friday nights too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because they're trying to get
Another one of
They're
Quan's
trying to get
favorites.
more stuff on their platform that's not just Star Wars / Marvel. Sorry, Donovan, go ahead.
So this is the reason why I think it's going to be over.
Go Knights, go.
Go Knights.
That's
Go
what's up.
Knights. We're in Vegas, by the way. Go Knights.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
I think that the reason why I say it's going to be over is because when we watch a Star Wars movie, or Star Wars show or Star Wars property, what's the one thing that you're really excited about to see that shows up in our Star Wars shows?
Lightsabers.
Bingo.
Dancing.
Jedis. Dancing lightsabers. It's I haven't done that in a while. It's lightsabers. It's Jedi. It's the Force. That's the thing that people are like, yes, give me more of that.
Okay, I don't know if that's the exact way
Bro,
I go
That's the
about
noise
it.
I make.
Wait, you mean to tell me that you would prefer TIE fighters and X-Wings over Jedi?
No. I prefer the Jedi. I was just saying the mating call that you made. I didn't know if that's how.
That's fair.
That's fair. I don't know
It's
if
a
that's
Jedi mating call.
The mating call.
I don't know if that's like what I do.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going hunting for elk. What you?
Yeah. So people tune in to see like, oh my gosh, Luke might be on this episode, or
Right.
someone might be on this episode that's like a game changer with Loki. Oh, so WandaVision, we didn't get too much of like what was to come afterwards. Like we were just like, okay, this is WandaVision. Yes, we got her in her full Scarlet Witch persona, like that came to fruition to the fullest, and that was great.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was kind of like I treated that like an epilogue to what we saw in Endgame and in the last
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Captain America movie. So for this one, I see this as like, no, this is like the next phase. This is where we're going. We're dealing with cosmic beings. We're dealing
Yep.
with
Time
we're
and
dealing
weird
with
powers and all kind of crazy
all
stuff.
the stuff you love about Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
This is where we're going.
Yep.
And the end is going to blow your mind, and it's going to be a game changer. I think it's
I
going to
agree.
just be absolutely insane.
I think that's what we're going to be getting to over the course of this series, is that in the next couple of episodes, there's going to be a reference to what's going on with the Eternals. Without giving anything away about what's happening with the Eternals movie, they're going to make some type of reference to Celestials.
I think so too.
There's going to be some type of thing that's connecting all of these dots. He's the one that connects it, because in reality now, because he is a variant, Loki doesn't really exist.
No.
He's a different version.
No.
Like, anything can happen to him at this point. Your prediction, I want to get real quick predictions. We spent the entire episode on Loki.
Yep.
And I don't mind at all.
I had
Not
a
at
feeling
all.
we were going to do that.
Yeah,
I don't mind
same.
at all.
I was like, I got some notes for some other
I
stuff.
wanted to get a quick prediction from you guys as far as how you think this series will end. We know we're going to get a second season of Loki. Loki was renewed for a second season
before it even
3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Okay.
So do you
Telling
want to
you.
know what we think is going to happen at the end
How
of
do
the
you
season
think
or
this series? How do you think this series ends? Like, how do you think this wraps up? Like,
It's not going to, man. I think this is going to be like
the season. How do you think the season ends?
I think this is going to be like we were all talking about. It's going to be the stepping stone into the next phase.
Okay.
Miss Minutes even mentioned multiverse and madness in the same sentence.
Yeah, the multiverse war. Yeah.
I think that these are all nods to what's coming after. I think, like you said, him being a variant and him not actually being, I guess, alive in the main universe, he's able to kind of bounce around and do all these other things. So I'm really excited to see. I think we might get a kid Loki. There was some stuff. I'm excited to, or like President Loki. You know what I mean? I'm really excited to see how far they stretch this. How, like, what are these variants doing? You know, like what effect
Right.
are they having? I think this is going to be the biggest show out of all of them so far, for sure.
It already has that feel, doesn't it?
I think it's
I mean-
yeah. I don't think that's without reason.
Yeah. My prediction, I don't know.
It's the best
Perfect.
prediction.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
No,
Same.
And I'm not going to try and sit here and guess because I genuinely don't know.
Right.
They
And I kind of
literally
want to
opened-
know, dude. I
Yeah.
want to watch
No,
it and
they-
be surprised.
They opened up Pandora's box for the viewers to go, oh my gosh, anything is possible.
Right.
Literally anything is possible now. So for me, I don't know, but I'm here for it.
I am gonna just randomly guess. I think
Of course you are.
You're better than me. I get it.
no, I'm right there with you guys. Actually, I don't really know. I hope the season ends with a Kang reveal. I hope we see like that the time stream. What I hope we see is that there isn't a correct time stream
Mm.
because that makes things kind of weird, and then
Yeah.
you can poke holes in it. With, why is this correct but not
Right.
this? Why if he needed that to happen with that? So I think we'll find out by the end, or hope that we find out by the end that the time stream isn't as sacred as maybe they want us to believe.
I 100% agree.
I think that, you made reference to it, that one of these members of the time, like they say, like the agents or
Mhm.
whatever, the time variant
Minutemen.
authority, one of those Minutemen is going to be connected working for King.
Mhm.
and then I think that's the post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
You can make the argument that the post-credit scenes we've gotten for the last 2 series really aren't much of they're not really much of anything, are they?
Yeah.
They're
was good.
They're both kind of like okay,
Yeah.
thanks. I have a feeling that this one could be
the cool one.
yeah.
I'd like to think so. I think Kang might be our next Thanos. We might get a little mention here or a little slight. You see the blue face or the helmet or something like that. I think it's going to be. It's hard to say because we missed terribly on the whole Mephisto stuff. So I don't know who the
Everyone did.
bad.
It would be cool to see Thanos in this show.
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna. I think
Show
we're
up
gonna
some
see.
point.
I think we're gonna see Thanos, young Thanos in Eternals.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
You're
think-
gonna find
I
out
think-
he's a deviant.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get him then. Yeah, like as much as I want to like say this, that, or the other, I like we were saying, I don't want to like theorize, and like I said, I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid this time. And I got a lot of cool stuff from Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
You want to just let it happen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
yeah,
just
you know,
let
I
it
just
play
wanna-
out. Let's just see
wanna
what
happen,
happens.
dude.
Yeah, well, like obviously, guys, we know you love watching the show because we theorize and you theorize with us. But
Yeah, man.
this is
Right.
literally anything is possible. And I know in the coming weeks we'll make sure that we're theorizing along with you. But for now, it's really all up in the air.
All
Yeah.
right, well, I'm going to stop asking questions. All right. So
No, ask
listen,
questions.
I'm
This
just
is
kidding.
good.
So, guys, we want to mention again that coming up July 9th, we have secured a location.
Dun dun dun.
Details to follow.
Yeah.
Popcorn will be consumed.
Yes, it
Correct.
shall.
We're going to FaceTime Donovan when he's in Texas.
I'll be
And,
watching it in Texas for sure.
I'm gonna hold the phone up.
Isai Barbosa will be joining us in studio. He didn't know what we were talking about, and we told him he won, but he's
he was like,
he's-
"What? Thank you, guys."
Oh, I've been busy. So yeah. He's got a baby.
Yeah, I told him he was
got
like,
a-
he was
got
like,
a baby.
what? But
Yeah.
no.
But Sonny, what do you have for the people this week?
So we got the Cowboy Bebop stuff that got released. They
Very
also
cool.
it's gonna be really cool. Netflix has got all the money. They are also released 9 episodes, the titles to the Umbrella Academy, which is gonna be really cool. I know a lot of us are pretty stoked on that. I'm interested to see how this is gonna play out. Space Jam got a new trailer. Super stoked on that.
LeBron,
awesome.
LeBron cut the craziest promo. He just got eliminated from the playoffs. He's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go home and rest for a month, and then I'm gonna hop up on the Tunes call. I was like, whoa, bro, this man didn't give a damn about about this playoff series.
Yeah.
No, he's chilling. He's making his money.
sitting on
dude.
his 4 rings and MVPs. He don't care.
He doesn't care.
He
We
does
got Jensen Ackles' first look at Soldier Boy in the new
Cool.
Boys season 3.
Yeah.
His costume looks super cool. It's
And
gonna
you
be-
mentioned Captain America's Hydra costume. It looks a lot
it
like
does. It really
It's a
does.
lot
The
like
shield
that.
is really
That's so
cool.
cool.
It's really cool. There's a tease of a Zatanna movie in the works.
fun.
I'm really down for that. I think that could be pretty dark.
I wanted to speak backwards the entire time.
The CW version of Batwing, we got a release of that. It
Yeah.
doesn't really look too cool,
Mm.
in my opinion.
All you had to say was CW.
Yeah, what'd you say? It looks like a modified bike helmet.
It looks like they. It
that.
looks
It
like
kind
they.
of does.
It looks like they bought a black bike helmet, put a blue visor in it, and then
and
put.
some
ears
ears.
on it, yeah.
They weren't.
I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
It went all out.
We got Michael Keaton's Batman costume tease. Got some blood splatter on it from what's
Yeah.
going
I
on.
did
in the
not
Flash.
see
It's
that.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's just the logo though, just the emblem, and has a little bit of blood on it on a dusty costume, so you know that he's pulling it out the woodworks.
Cool.
And Rob Zombie is making a Monsters movie.
I did see that.
I don't know why.
I'm interested.
I'm
Yeah.
interested. So that's the news for
Yeah.
the week, guys.
Boys,
Boom.
I want to tell you, I've started watching
The boys.
The Boys.
Yes.
You started watching The Boys.
I'm
Boys.
3 episodes into the first season.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it so far.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Beautiful.
It's really funny.
We will have updates on our bucket list. Probably not next week, but the week after. I think
Yes.
we'll
You've been-
probably have.
You been watching Harry Potter?
Yeah, I'm on the. I finished the 3rd one, Harry Potter Tokyo Drift. I watched the 3rd one.
What do you think so far?
It's good. He's a
Harry
he's a
Potter,
he's
You know
one
what-
of the best.
You know
best
what
wizards.
magic? You know what magic and wizards can't stand? It's family.
I started when Frank was saying like the Harry Potter I haven't watched it, I started watching them again. And man, do I love these.
Dude, I watched
love
Chamber of
these
Secrets 2 nights ago, man.
movies. It's so fun.
It's good. Shout
That's
out
a Harry Potter movie, right?
Shout out
Oh, I
to-
watched
Yes.
that. I saw that one.
the second one, sir. You're failing.
Oh, oops. You're failing. Sorry, Felicia. All right, guys. It's fun to hang out with you and do this.
Quanda's like, get him
All
out
right,
of
all
here.
right, We're leaving. We
It's
know
like-
the night game is on. We're getting out of here.
The
You got to go. Just get out of here.
Jeez.
Paul.
Love you guys. Thank you for being here with us. Go check out our video on We Only Find Them When They're Dead. The creators on that just got nominated for Eisner Awards, which is
Beautiful.
Congrats,
the
guys.
Oscars, but for comics. Boom Studios. We told you guys they're coming.
They are. They're coming. Here comes the boom.
Here comes the boom. Show us your booms.
Talk to you guys soon.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Now play the music.
It was so loud, too. I was like, Jesus.